While the world was busy picking sides between Team Blake and Team Justin, the people who were actually in the room, the cast of It Ends With Us, weren't just bystanders. According to explosive industry whispers and recently unsealed documents, the cast didn't just sense the tension. They reportedly knew the axe was about to fall on Baldoni's representation at WME, William Morris Endeavor, long before the public did. And yet, not one person stepped up to pull him back from the ledge. Why did a set that was supposed to be about breaking cycles of pain end up feeling like a masterclass in Hollywood's mean girls culture? Put on your detective hat, because we're diving deep into the silence that spoke volumes. If you watched the premiere of It Ends With Us, you probably noticed something felt off. It was like watching a family Thanksgiving where two siblings refused to pass the gravy. Blake Lively was glowing, surrounded by the cast and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni, the director and male lead, was often seen solo, looking like the only person at the party who didn't get the "wear florals" memo. But it wasn't just a lack of photos. Insiders suggest the cast had already formed an impenetrable inner circle. Almost the entire main cast unfollowed Baldoni on Instagram. In the digital age, that's the equivalent of a public execution. During interviews, whenever Baldoni's name came up, the vibe shifted from sunny press tour to Arctic tundra. Was this just a professional disagreement, or was there something much darker brewing under the surface that made the cast feel they couldn't stand up for him? Rumors are swirling that the cast was well aware that WME, the powerhouse talent agency, was preparing to drop Baldoni. In Hollywood, being dropped by your agency is like being voted off the island, except the island is your entire career. Reports indicate that as Blake Lively's allegations of a hostile work environment and sexual harassment began to take shape behind the scenes, the cast's loyalty solidified. They weren't just Team Blake because she's a superstar. They were reportedly hearing, and some say witnessing, things that made standing up for Justin feel like a career and moral suicide. It wasn't that they didn't like him, one source whispered. It was that they were terrified of being on the wrong side of a history that was already being written. But if they knew he was about to lose his representation, why didn't anyone try to mediate? Did the Ryan Reynolds factor play a role in silencing any potential dissent? Documents unsealed in early 2026 revealed that Ryan Reynolds was deeply involved in the film's post-production. This created a two-headed monster dynamic for Baldoni. On one side, he was the director. On the other, he was being outmaneuvered by the most powerful couple in Hollywood. The most tragic part of this entire saga? It Ends With Us is a story about domestic violence and finding the strength to leave. Instead, the headlines are dominated by who unfollowed whom and who said what in a text to a WME agent. The cast's refusal to stand up for Baldoni, or even acknowledge his role in the film, has left a bitter taste in the mouths of many fans. While Blake claims she was protecting herself from a hostile director, Justin's team argues he was ambushed by a Hollywood power play. As the trial date approaches in May 2026, more texts are being leaked. Some show the cast praising Justin during filming, only to go silent the moment the WME dropped rumors started. Was their silence a silent protest against his behavior, or a calculated move to stay in the good graces of the Lively Reynolds empire? Do you think the cast was right to stay silent if they knew he was being dropped? Does the involvement of Ryan Reynolds make this a power play or a protective husband move? Has this drama changed how you feel about the movie? Drop a comment below and share this article with your fellow pop culture junkies. Let's get the conversation started, because in Hollywood, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about.